The obvious undertones of the One World Under Doom event have carried it through a surprisingly engaging 9 issues. Marvel's track record with event books isn't always great, despite being their inventor, but Ryan North has proven himself more than up to the task, and pitting not just Marvel's first family, but virtually everybody in Marvel who is still sane up against Doctor Doom as Sorcerer Supreme, and consistently losing. The final chapter dropped today, but let's dial into exactly what led us up to this moment in time. I'm Dan Umpton, and this is the Doomcast. First off, do me a favor, hit subscribe and the bell. I make about one of these videos a week. They're all great, so please don't miss even one. Before we go too much farther here, this contains spoilers for the entirety of the One World Under Doom event. And yes, I did name this show after Doctor Doom. I love the character for a number of reasons, not because he's a good guy. The sheer bombastic personality, the alliteration, the design of the armor, none compared to Doom. He has no equal or better, the master of science and magic. A man who's so committed to perfection that he would, as Ryan North established in the first Fantastic Four annual, delete himself from existence rather than fail. But with the last issue and today's, Doom does fail regularly. I mean, he does succeed, but with every success there is some cost, some threat, mostly to his ego that he simply can't abide, and that usually ends up being his downfall, which is not the case here. While his ego being a vulnerability is on naked display in multiple storylines, like the introduction of Victorious, the Doctor Doom limited series from Kiss Cantwell, Hickman's Avengers and Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars, Miller's Fantastic. It is painfully apparent in most of this series. And it's also frustrating because you're watching Doom do stuff that's inarguably despotic and authoritarian, but also incredibly based in some situations, right? Doom eliminated international war. He was providing for global universal healthcare, eliminating poverty, hunger, all the stuff that he touted to be in his ability to do so, and that he claimed that all of Earth's heroes could have done for forever if they wanted to. Things that objectively mutants technically could have done with Krakoa, but chose not to, at least not freely. A point that he even makes in that comic itself. And to this, you see the world leaders, even other heroes, willingly capitulating to everything that he does. Now, while the presumption was that Doom had, by obtaining the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme in the aftermath of Blood Hunt, somehow hoodwinked everybody or magicked them into capitulation, wasn't the case. A lot of people were just doing it willingly. Now, granted, he was using all of the people in Doomstad as sort of living magic batteries. In any case, they've tried a lot of things, Marvel's first family as well as the rest of the heroes, to end the conflict. Reed and Sue, Ben and Johnny have tried forcing Doom into conflict directly. They've tried attacking him, undermining him, debating him in public, only to discover that exposing even the source of his power doesn't exactly work for people either. The final plan by Reed was to use magic, one area that he's always been deficient in, to train himself up in, and then employ it with scientific precision against Doom in the astral plane, and that also, unfortunately, failed. In an additional gambit, Valeria Richards, his goddaughter, and probably the only person he cares about, Doctor Doom that is, went to talk him down. That failed. He essentially hung up on her. Valeria called his armor with Morse code resonating at an exact frequency that he would be able to hear. They met on the astral plane, and he essentially kicked her out, sent her back. After that, Storm and Johnny Storm created a literal lava storm of rock. The Thing was wielding an energy-imbued Stormbreaker hammer. That didn't end up working either. Doom created, in that moment, a final fixed moment in time out of his victory, which would prevent time travel or magic or anything else from changing this. He then turned the attack of his armor on everybody and everything around it, with the intent of bringing everybody down to essentially 1 HP. Nobody else was, everyone was going to live, But the idea was that they were going to be too broken to try and fight back and just understand, now I've won at this point. He finds that he has accidentally killed Valeria Richards, the one person that he even gives a crap about at all. Now, Doom is faced with a task that I still can't quite understand the mechanics of. Issue number 9, his victory is a fixed moment in time, which nobody can time travel or magic their way out of. Okay, great. What does Dr. Doom immediately do? Magic. He demands the Vishanti resurrect Valeria, and he surrenders his title of Sorcerer Supreme. They leave his ass on red. He then goes to the Living Tribunal, and then there makes a plea to see him and judge him. Fully exposed, something Doom has not done to my knowledge otherwise. The Living Tribunal, cosmic embodiment of justice, is actually moved and finds it meritorious the actual selfless love that he has for Valeria. And in his ask, the tribunal strikes a bargain with him with a cost. His life in exchange for Valeria Richards. And Doom makes that deal. Valeria is then spat out of a portal, alive and well, from a moment apparently fixed in time, but not anymore, to the delight of her family. But does that make Doom a good guy? Clearly not, right? But it is one redeeming, very noble act. Is that enough to make somebody good? I think that's a pretty good philosophical question. The world celebrates Doom's disappearance. Some people mourn it. Clearly, he still had some fans. They were convinced that Doom was always right and the only good choice for Earth. But in the final scene, Doom appears with Reed Richards, and they discuss his abdication. Richards rightfully notes that nobody else could have been more qualified to be Emperor and a benevolent ruler, but that Doom lacked real benevolence for anybody other than Valeria. And as a criticism, rightfully, to the character of Doom and to his fans, points out that Dr. Doom makes fascism not only palatable, but attractive and easy. But in the last page, Doom bids Richard take good care of his world, and with that, disappears entirely, leaving just his mask, with his will transcribed on the inside of it. Simultaneously also broadcast to everybody else on Earth, every storage device, and apparently every book as well. What that contains, we'll find that out in the Will of Doom #1, which is on sale soon. But overall, probably one of the better Marvel events that I've read in recent past. That Avengers, X-Men, Eternals was also pretty good from Kieran Gillen. But this, start to finish, I appreciate. Am I sad to see Doom as a character go? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that that's going to be temporary. In any case, we'll see what it comes to in the Will of Doom. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been the Doomcast. We'll see you again next week. Peace.